Without any further delay, I'll start with the introduction of our speaker for the afternoon today, and then we can quickly move into the session. We don't want to waste any time considering we're going to learn about Excel this afternoon, the most sought after tool in our day-to-day lives, right? So, Mr. Vijay Perepu is a progressive corporate and individual trainer with 23 plus years of experience as a data analyst and a data storyteller, who always mixes the latest trading techniques with methods that have a strong track record, explains subjects with industry examples to make participants more active and interactive, specialized in the data analysis of dashboards, automation with VBA, Python, Power BI, and so on. He's conducted numerous training sessions for companies like Accenture, Flipkart, Mahindra Tech, L&T, Unilever, SBI Insurance, ICICI Lombard, Christ, and many more. Sir, very good afternoon once again, and thank you so much for agreeing to do this session. Now, the floor is open to you.
Great. Thank you very much, Shiva, for a nice introduction. Yeah. Okay, guys. Let me jump into very quickly about the session. Knowing about me is not very important. Knowing about Excel is very important. So Excel is what we need to live with in any organization. That is the entry point. That is a basic skill like English. So obviously you must be having the idea about it. So let me share my screen and let me quickly jump into kind of analysis and how this can be done. So initially I will show you certain activities which are very important called shortcuts. So let me share my screen. Okay. So now you can see, I believe, the screen. So this is the Excel spreadsheet screen. And the moment you get into, you will get kind of different sections of the screen. We need to understand each and every section of the screen before entering the data inside Excel. Normally, what happens when any basic Excel user jumps into the Excel, his initiative or initial task will be just enter something. But without knowing the entire structure of the spreadsheet, and without understanding the options available within Excel, entering the data is not going to help us. So that is the reason we need to first of all set up certain things and understand certain things. So whenever you start with Excel, first of all, you need to understand what you are going to use in Excel, why you are learning Excel, and why you are using Excel for that matter. And for that, you need to first of all understand why you are using Excel. So one is you are entering or storing the data. So you are entering and storing the data every time. That is the first task you do. Storing the data means you are getting the data from different other sources and bring it here. Next, you are preparing the data. We call it as preparation or mashup of data. Next, you will be actually doing certain calculations. Or before that, rather, I can say you are reviewing the data and shaping up the final view of the data. And then finally, you will be doing the calculations, and finally you are inserting reports. So reports can be a pivot table or a graph, or we can say chart. So these are the elements why we learn or use Excel. So unfortunately, Excel, when it started, people never learned Excel in as a curriculum, as a subject matter. So most of the users in Excel, I think 90% of Excel users are just using with their peer-to-peer understanding only. So I joined my company. I just met with my senior. He taught me how to do certain things, and then I take it forward. But the real learning never happens in Excel. That is with everybody. So if you understand this in strategic manner, definitely you'll be able to manage the thing. So what we are actually entering the data. So when I enter some data, suppose I'm entering my name, you can see that the data is getting inside one cell. And when I press enter the data, that data is actually sticking to the cell. Later, I can do various things that I can edit or modify, or I can give background color, and I can create the case, lowercase, uppercase, etc. And also I can change the bold, etc. So these are all can be done in one place, that is Home tab. You can see the Home tab is the area where we will be doing all the activities. So in the Home tab, you have certain groups. Under the groups, you have certain commands. For example, you have a clipboard group. Within that, you have cut, paste, copy, paste, paste special values, formatting the element using the format painter. So those elements are those commands are available. And when you are dealing with font related activities, you will be able to see that different options to play around with font, and then how to align your text and how to use your data format, and then what kind of different color schema you can use it, and also other activities. So everything, whatever related to the entering and storing the data is available in the Home tab. As I mentioned, I'm starting with the basic shortcuts. So this is the starting point. Then we are actually trying to prepare the data. So we need to make the data readable by us. You're getting the data across different sources. But normally what people do, they actually first spend a lot of time to do the housekeeping of the data. They'll take a lot of time. So that is the reason you need to understand that lot of time, how to reduce to very less time. That is the data group. So in the data group, you can see many options like sorting the data, filtering the data, advanced filter, and so many other techniques like data validation, consolidation, so many things. So those can be accessed from the data tab. Then you need to review the data. That means whether the data is appearing properly, or maybe you wanted to create a password for your workbook or worksheet or a specific cell. Then you need to use the review tab. That is this. In this, you can create the password for your workbook or worksheet or a specific cell. And also you can create some comments, etc., to notes, etc. Make sure that your page is having a lot of comments. And also view tab. View tab is make sure that how the page alignment is there, how the which is the print. If you want to take a print, you need to keep in the print layout. Other you want to take in a readable view, you need to create that readable view, and you can make that zoom selection so that you can make that view to the fit to the proper zoom so that end user can read the information. You can freeze the pane so that you can fix the column and row. So where from the data will be moving and that fixed column is not moving, so that relatively they can understand what actually they're looking at. So those activities will be done by the view tab. And then calculations are basically the formula tab. And finally, the insert tab is take you to the pivot tables and graphs. Not only the pivot tables and graphs, but also it will take you to the you can add a picture or a shape, etc. So these are the tabs we have. Mainly, these are the main important tabs you need to deal with when you are dealing with your cleaning of the data. So how to reach these tabs? I mean, should I use mouse? Of course not. In Excel, only one action doesn't have a shortcut. Apart from that, every action has a shortcut. So you may ask me, what is that shortcut? You can see when I'm adding multiple sheets and I wanted to see all these sheets in one place, I do not have any shortcut. For some reason, Microsoft not introduced a shortcut for it. There, I need to use my mouse to right click to see the all sheets, where from I can activate the respective sheet. That option is not alone there to use you can't use a shortcut, your keyboard, except that everything is shortcut driven in Excel. So we are understanding those shortcuts now. Now you will have a question, how to remember the shortcuts. I mean, can you please send me the PDF? I'll learn. That never will happen. So obviously you need to know how to remember it after at least 1 or 2 days of practice. If you are not forgetting that, then you don't require any PDF or something else, whatever it is. So for that, let me introduce the shortcuts, how to use the shortcuts. First, let us deal with the home tab shortcut. So I need to first enter into the home tab. But before that, one more important thing we need to understand, because the command ribbon is anyway there. There are so many commands are there, and I have some favorite commands, and I want to bring all those commands into one single section where from I can access all the commands very easily. You can see there is a small screen, I mean, small window or small pane. You can see this is called Quick Access Toolbar. So currently this Quick Access Toolbar is I kept in the below the command ribbon. Normally it will be there on top. Whenever you open Excel, you will see in the left side one small floppy disk icon, which is a save button, and you have undo, redo. So for my convenience, I just selected this option and I just kept inside the below that command ribbon so that I can see all of them. Now we are discussing about command Quick Access Toolbar. What is the benefit of that? Then we'll discuss about the shortcuts. So this is a very small version of what you call nano version of your entire command ribbon. So you need not, if you use this, you need not use all these command ribbons. So how to access it? Of course, we can access it through the shortcuts also, but only to access this, I'm just showing you the your mouse. You need to go to that Quick Access Toolbar. You have a small wedge where you can drop down and select the options available on the screen. Like I want to open a new workbook, and I want to open the existing workbook, and I want to send an email, and I want to print preview. I want to do the spelling, and I wanted to do the ascending, descending order, many other things I can do from here. But as I mentioned earlier, you can add many more tabs, many more commands. This is a smaller version of all the command ribbons. So you may ask me how to add it. There is an option, more commands. So when you go to the Quick Access Toolbar and go to the very extreme right, the wedge is there. If you select that wedge and drop down, where from you can select all the commands. Below that, you can see more commands. And if you click on that, you will be taken to the options, Excel option screen, where your cursor is now landing inside the Quick Access Toolbar, and the respective dialog is appearing where you can select all the commands, and from there you can select whatever command you wanted to deal with. For example, I want to get all the type charts in one place. So I'm just adding it so that you see when I click on the add, this menu, I mean, this command is coming to the right side. Same way, I can add many more commands. So for example, I wanted to just quickly add a calculator. I can add it. And then if I press OK, you can see that those commands are appearing. Now, what is the benefit of it? I mean, should I still go there and use mouse? Not really required. You need to press Alt button. In your screen, in your keyboard, there are two buttons are very prominent. That is in the left side and right side. Also, you have two buttons. One is Control and another is Alt. So I need to press Alt and leave it. Just press Alt and just I pressed Alt and I just remove my finger out of Alt, and you see there are certain options are available, certain numbers are available on the command ribbon, the Quick Access Toolbar. So now I can quickly select one of them and start working. So for example, I want to send this entire file to one of my recipients. So he wanted to see what I did here. You can see there is a small icon for email. On that, you can see the number 7. I just press 7. Now the Outlook will be invoked. If your Outlook is not opened, application, it will be invoked where I will write my required email ID. And then if I press send, this file will be sent and I'm safe. And now by mistake, there could be a possibility that you have forgotten to save this file and closed it. No worries, your file is available within the send items. From there, you can pick it up and start working again. So that is about the Alt button. So if I press Alt and I press 2, this file will be saved. If I press 3, the file will be, whatever action will be undone. If I select 5, I will be opening a new workbook. 6, it will ask me to open the existing workflow from the Windows Explorer. There is a browser opens. Then I can do the spell check, and also I can select the create all charts. So for example, I'll just add 1, 2, 3, and I just keep the cursor on 1, and I press Alt, and then I press 9. All the charts or options are available. Just one small step. Then you can use the navigation keys. I'm not using mouse here. I'm using the navigation keys. You can see the keys, the arrow keys in your screen, your keyboard in the right side down. There you can see that up arrow, down arrow, etc. Where I'm using the right arrow. And then there is another button, tab. If I press tab, and now I can jump into different charts and start working. So you're not using mouse. Everything is accessible through the command, keyboard only, and you will be working faster. So basically using keyboard, your efficiency increases by 25% more. If you use mouse, your efficiency will be reduced by almost, say 80% or 75%. So that way you can create it. So what I did, now I press Alt and I press 9 and I just pressed right arrow key and then press tab, and that's all. Now I want to select a pie chart. I selected a pie chart and I pressed enter. I didn't use mouse. If you use mouse, I'm telling you this, whatever activity I've shown you will take at least 1 minute. I've done in 30 seconds. That is the efficiency you are going to gain. So that is the reason you need to understand the shortcuts. And now how to add that quick access toolbar, you understood. You need to go to that quick access toolbar, select the small wedge, add any command you want to add. More commands also you can go. Select all commands and then jump into the commands and see whatever command you would like to add, you can add it. So that way you can use the quick access toolbar. Now, since you are now understanding how to use the quick access toolbar and just press Alt and you need not remember anything, everything is available. It automatically comes. And not only it comes automatically, but it is not in any specific order. Based on your allotment of these keys on the quick access toolbar, based on the time of selection, because why it is coming fifth, new document, the reason I added this before, and why this is coming the very end, because I added the very latest. So basically that is a sequence. In the sequence it comes. So that way you can access it. That is the Alt shortcut. It is a big lifesaver. You can add entire commands across this bar and you will get all the commands here and your efficiency will increase. Next, let us come to the now other options. How to go to the Home tab, Data tab, Review or View tab, Formula tab, and Insert tab. So I want to go to Home tab. Again, same Alt button and then press H. Data, you need to press A. Review, you need to press R. And you need to press W to view. You need to press M for formulas. And you need to press N for insert. So these are the shortcuts. If you use, you will be able to go to these all tabs immediately so that your job will be easier. Now let us try one or two examples in Home tab. Then you'll understand what is the benefit of these shortcuts. So I'm just going to the Home tab now because I want to enter some data or edit some data or I want to do some modification to the data. So I'm going to another sheet for doing this in a different way. So now I'm just adding a number 1. And now you need to add some 1,000 numbers. What is the practice you must be doing now? You're adding 2 here, selecting both and dragging this towards down, and you need to wait for it some time, right? I'm waiting for almost 30-40 seconds. Then your numbers are coming in. So first of all, you need to enter 2 numbers and then you need to drag. You need not do that. There is a possibility that now with pressing the control, you can just keep the cursor. You will get now another small plus. Plus over that another small plus and you drag, still it gives the numbers. But dragging is not efficient. Sometimes you drag too much or you maybe not able to drag properly. If your mouse is not good, definitely the dragging is not going to be helpful. So there is a shortcut. So basically I need to press Alt to go to the home tab, and Alt H will take me to the home tab. Then there is a command FI. FI is to fill the data. So I'll say home tab, then FI is fill options, and then S is series options. Then when you press S, you will get a dialog where you need to select options to deal with entry. So let us do that. So Alt H F I S, one by one. One by one you have to do. So I have selected one, and then I pressed Alt. I can see now the home tab is allocated with H. Then you can see there is an option FI. You need not pay one by immediately, not together. You need to pay one. You need to press one by one. So FI means the fill option. So FI, easy, one by one. Then you can see S, that is the series options. I press S, and then this is coming up. I mean, some reason it's coming down. Normally it will come at the top. I need to now press Alt and C together. The reason, whenever in any command ribbon or any dialog, you get any text and any text having an underscore like this. For example, here R having underscore, C is having underscore, L, G, D, F, these are all underscores. That means if I press Alt and that button, I will be taken to that particular option. For example, I need to now jump into the columns. I press Alt C so that I have selected columns, and I need to press Alt O because I need to come here. I need to give the last value. So the final value is 1000. Basically, you're filling the series of numbers with starting value 1, with a step value, that means increment 1, and the stop value is 1000. So 1, 1, 1000. That is what you are doing. Or say 1, 1000, 1. That means 1 is the initial value, 1000 is the last value, 1 is the increment value. So 1 plus 1, 2 plus 1, 3 plus 1, 4, kind of. And if you press enter, you need not even use mouse, and your 1000 numbers are in front of you. Now this I will do little faster. So I need to select 1. If you practice what happens, this fast thing has happened. Alt H, F, I, S, Alt C, and then Alt O, then 1000, enter. So this, if you practice, definitely you will take a lot of control on your keyboard, and finally you will be able to get the data very quickly. So you have 1000 numbers in front of you without dragging anything. You're not spending much time. Same thing can be done with the dates also. For example, I want to have dates. First of all, I'll write one date anyway I need to write. Now I want dates till 31st December 2020. Definitely by dragging, it is not easy. You know that. So how to create it? People, what they do, they say +1 and then drag it. Then it is not going to help you. So I'll press again Alt H F I S. Alt H F I S is common. There I need to see the type. It is already selected as a date, and what kind of date you want. Every date or only weekdays. Currently, let us deal with day, every day. So Alt C, because I want this inside the column in a vertical manner I want. And then Alt O, because I want to have the 31st December 2020. And if I press enter, I can see all the dates are done. So now let us jump into the next shortcut. See, when you do like this, you will get that hash. You know why? Because the column width is not enough to accommodate the date what you have created. So what you will do, you will go to here and you double click. And if you have multiple columns, you will select all the columns, or you have columns in different places, select one by one and do double click. Again, mouse, right? Need not do. So I need to select the entire column. There is a shortcut I will tell you later. I selected entire column and I press Alt H, and then there is an option O. This is very powerful shortcut. And then there is a column width and auto column width. I say I. And now if you go down, all the numbers are taken here. So Alt H O I. So Alt H is home, and O is format, and then I is auto column width. So this is what is the learning pattern. If you learn this way, you will learn Excel effectively. So now I'll go back to the normal thing. I'll just put it like this. So every date is gone. So I've selected the entire column. So I'll just press Control and Space Bar so that all the dates are selected, and press Alt H, Home tab, O, Format tab, I, Auto Width, Auto Column Width. So automatically my column is taken care of, and you have the outcome coming up nicely. So that is the Alt shortcut. Same way, we can do many other shortcuts, but Alt shortcuts are rememberable because the moment you type Alt, you are getting all the commands, and then you press any certain thing, you are getting that certain thing. For example, H for Home tab, and then N for Insert tab, and so on. For example, I wanted to just create one line chart for this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I want to create a line chart. Alt N. Alt N will take me to the Insert tab. So currently you can see Insert tab is selected. There you can see all the chart icons. And respective icons you need to say. I said line chart. Line chart is indicating N1. But if you are using little lower version, maybe you are using 2016 or lesser version, you will see only N. I think in 2016 also N, but Office 365 version or 2019 version, you will get that N1 because you have some other options also. So that is the reason they have replaced with N1. And if I press N1, I have all the chart types. I select any interesting chart type and press enter. I have got my chart without using any extra mouse key buttons. Using mouse is not always friendly. So that is the reason you will be able to do this through this shortcuts, and you got the thing. Same way, I can see one thing. For example, I wanted to, for example, I have some, let me just open, add some data. So I say Vijay, Ajay, Rajat. So I want to remove duplicates. How to remove the duplicates? Very simple. So you can, normally I suggest that when you are actually wanted to remove the duplicates, don't play with the existing data. Copy this and paste somewhere. Because you must be using it somewhere else, right? And then you need to press Alt A because the preparation of the data, to see why the data is preparing and meshing of the data. So you need to clean the data. So removing the duplicates is not entering the data. It is cleaning the data. So you need to go there. So you need to press Alt A. A will take you to the data tab. And then you can see remove duplicates option is available. And I press M, enough. And your column J is selected because you don't have a column header. That is the reason I selected column J. And if you have a header, this has to be checked so that the header will be taken care of. And then the header will not be acted on, so that the header will be safe. And press OK. You can see now all the duplicates are removed. So that way you can actually use so many things. So that I will show you through creating the data. So then you'll understand how to use them. But Alt A will take you. Alt N is creating a chart. Alt N, pivot table also you can create. I will show you that pivot table shortcut when I'm creating a dashboard. And Alt AM is actually removing the duplicates you have seen. And there are so many other options are available where from you can, you can get the benefit of cleaning of the data, but you need to know the shortcuts. Alt A. Alt A will give you the complete control over the all commands and different options which are available you will be having. So this way you can actually do that. So now also you can add dates. For example, I want to add the dates only the weekdays. So I'll add 1st of January 2020. From there, and at least you need to add one date. From there, I want to only the week dates, not the holiday, Saturday, Sunday. I can again press Alt H for Home tab, then Fi for fill option. Then I'll press S for series option. Then I'll press Alt C for only columns and Alt W for weekday. You can see the Alt W is now indicating the weekday. And then Alt O is the stop value. and then 31 December 2020 and press enter. Now 1, 2, 3 are weekdays, 4, 5 are Saturday, Sunday, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 are weekdays, then 12, 11, 12 are holidays, so they don't count. So that way also you can enter the data. So these options are very interesting and you can do it. So, and limit, the sky is the limit in Excel. So with the shortcuts, I want to show you something interesting. So let me do one thing. Let me add a series of numbers, not from 1, 2, 3, 4, but I want to say 5, 10, 15, 20, like that. So what is the starting number? 5. And what is the ending number? 35. What is the increment? 5. 5 plus 5, 10 plus 5, 15 plus 5, 20, like that. So at one value I need to give. And then Alt H, FIS, and then Alt C, Alt O, 35, enter. So I have got, I think I have not given that starting point. That is my bad. So Alt H, FIS, Alt C, and then Alt S. I need to give a step value also 5. And then Alt O, I need to give the stop value, enter. So I have got 5, 10, 15, and so on. So there is a small formula I have to use, and then I use a shortcut to change the font. That is, one formula is there, that is repeat. And then I wanted to repeat a text. So I'll just say, let me give you the background of repeat. For example, I say repeat, and I want to repeat a text called Vijay. Give me a gap also, so that this will come with a gap. How many times I want? 5 times. Now you see Vijay is repeating 5 times. So repeat function will give you a value we repeated 5 times. So here I want to do the same thing. So equal repeat. And I wanted to use a text called a small g. Then I want to repeat it by 1 time, this divided by 5. That means what? Automatically it will repeat 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, and 7 times. And you can see that value is coming. Now you may ask me, why are you doing that? It is not showing nice. You can do one thing. You can use a shortcut to go to the command ribbon, and you can pick up the font. For that, I'll press Alt H and then FF and then W, and basically WE I need to do, and press enter. So WE is Webdings. And then you can see this is giving you a nice chart experience. Without having a chart, you are creating a chart, and it's a font. You need not do any other shape color. It is a font, and just change the colors and you can make it nice. And one more interesting thing is there. I mean, when you explore Excel in a nice manner, definitely you will have an advantage of getting more benefit. I'll select all of them. One important shortcut I'm doing, okay? That is Control Enter. Control plus Enter together. So I'm selecting all of them and going to the first formula. I'll remove G, I'll put V and press Control Enter. Now you can see that you are getting some vehicles. In one of the consulting the activity, I presented their numbers like this. So they wanted to show how many vehicles in a year they geared up. That means in 1 year they have only 500 vehicles. Second year they have got 600 vehicles. Finally they reached 1,000 vehicles. They want to show the fleet to the customer. They can do that. They can do very quickly and understand. So they will be able to do it. You cannot see the, I think I didn't see that question. I couldn't see that quick access toolbar on Excel. You need to understand which Excel you are using. So you must first of all see that which Excel you are using. One, you can see whether this file option is there. In the left side, if you have the file option in the left side, then you are using the version of 2007 and so on. And forward.
Sure, he is using 2016.
Yeah, 2016 you must be having. What you need to see, it will be actually not here, it will be on the top, but it will not be having, it will not be having much screen. Maybe what you do, let me up. So let me bring it to up. And then if I just go down, I'll do one thing. I'll go to more commands and remove everything. What you would be having, I will tell you. Maybe you are having only this much. and that is the reason you are not able to see. You have that, but you are not able to see. Can you see in the very extreme left? There is a floppy disk icon and a undo button. You must be having that. And there you can see a small wedge. This is called quick access toolbar. If you click on that, you will be able to access it. There is no chance, possibility that it is not there. Office 365 is always better. The reason is Office 365 is a, what you call, it is anytime you can stop, anytime you can use, but you have to pay monthly, and it is the best one. And you have to use, my option is I use Office 365 to do magic for my activity. Of course, compatibility issues will be there, but you can translate them into a proper shape and then deliver the final Excel file. But you need to have Office 365 is the better one. 2016 is the older one. Now 2021 is there already in Excel. They have introduced 2021 also. 2019 also they have introduced. So I think yeah, you can add more than 10. You can add more than 20 also. You will have a button. No, the command bring this down. If you bring that down, if you bring that down, you have enough space. You are not seeing the space on the top, but you will see the space on the down. It will be little crowded, but still worth. You can access them. So now that way you can actually use this shortcut. So what I did, I just used a repeat option. I've used repeat, and then in the repeat function I've written V for vehicle, and C3 is basically the first value divided by 5. I want to see 5 at a time. So 1, it will give you one time V will be populated, and V in the different format populated, and you got. So that way you can add, I mean, anything. I just write F, and if I go there and write F and control enter, you can see the fire engine is coming. So you can use different options. So yeah, so shortcuts are interesting, but exploration of Excel is also very much interesting. So that is about the basic shortcuts in Excel with respect to Alt. We just discussed about Alt shortcut. Alt shortcut. We are not now we are talking about another shortcuts. These are Alt shortcuts. We are using another shortcut called Control shortcuts. So control shortcuts are these. If I press CTRL control in your keyboard, in both the sides you'll have control button. In the down, very down, you'll have both the sides control button. That is what. So how to learn control shortcuts very easily. So for example, if I learn in a specific order, control A, control B, control C, then you'll remember much faster. So before that, some shortcuts we need to know, like control. For example, I have some numbers, and I want to go to last number, that is 6. Number 6. I want to go down. I can press Control down arrow key, so it will automatically go down. If I press Control up arrow key, I can see that value is going up. If I press Control and Shift, Control is navigation. Control Shift is selected navigation. Control down arrow key is navigation. Control up arrow key is navigation. But if I say Control and Shift, selected navigation, it is selected. Same way, if I come down, Control Shift up arrow key, selected navigation. Same way, right arrow key and up arrow, down arrow, right arrow key and left arrow key also. So that is one control shortcut you need to understand. And if I press Control space bar, I am selecting that respective column, which column I selected. For example, I kept my cursor in J column. If I press Control space bar, the J column will be selected. Suppose I selected 10th row and press Shift space bar, I will be able to select that entire row. Control space bar and Shift space bar. So that way you can actually use it very fast and make sure that you are practicing them. Without practicing, nothing can be remembered. Next is, I want to go to the, for example, I started entering something. Suddenly I found myself somewhere like here. By mistake, I pressed some button or page down or something. I went somewhere. Many times what happens, the Excel users, they actually save the file, close it and open. They will be there only. And they don't know what they did. My suggestion, if you are on the right page, you need to first of all go to the home button. That home button, home cell is nothing but A1. There is a key called home inside your keyboard. Press Control and Home. You will be taken to the very starting point. And press Control End. You will come to the last cell used because you pressed accidentally. You pressed something. That is the reason it took you to somewhere else. Control Home will bring you back to the first cell, and Control End will take you to the last cell, where you are working, and it is going to help you a lot. So that is the reason my suggestion is these shortcuts are to be very quickly understood. So I think it is Control Home. One is Control Home, another is Control End, and then Control space bar, and then Control Shift. Sorry, Shift space bar. Shift and space bar. That way it is. So Control Home will take you to the home tab, A1 cell. Control End will take you to the last working cell, and then Control spacebar will make your column is selected, and Shift spacebar is selected, your entire row selected. So that way there are so many options. For example, you want to go between the sheets. So Control Page Down. Control Page Down will take you to the other pages. Control Page Up will take you to the left side space. So we're basically Control Page Down and Control Page Up. That way you can manage the show and you can see it. I will try to share some notes if possible. Yeah, because you have selected, you are getting macro one because you have selected, I think, some other button. You have not selected the right button. Macro, there are three types of sheets are there. Normal sheet, macro sheet, and what do you call chart sheet. So you have pressed the wrong button, so it has given you the macro. But anyway, if you practice very well, you will be able to do it. So make sure that you are practicing all these things. Accordingly, you can get them. Now we need to understand the real shortcuts. But Control A, Control B, Control C, these things you need to know. But for that, another important thing you need to know how to store the names of your names in your Excel. How to train your Excel. For example, I'll write Control, and I want A, and then if I drag down, I want ABCD. For me, it is getting. I'm getting automatically because already I trained my Excel. My Excel knows what I want, so it is giving me A to Z automatically. But if you do in your keyboard, you will not get. You will say A and drag. You will get A repeatedly. So how to deal with it? How to get that training done to Excel? For that, you have an option in the backstage. So you need to go to File. There you need to go to Options. And then you need to go to Advanced. So let me go to File and Options. There is an option Advanced. There you have a section called General. In the General section, you will be getting many options. Out of that, you can see one option, Edit Custom Lists. And if you click on Custom Lists, you will get this window where you can see I've already added ABCD. By default, you will have Sunday and Monday kind of weekdays and month names, week names and month names will be there. These are by default added by Microsoft. But others one you need to add. For example, I've added Accenture, Infosys, some another company, no company, other company, Vijay Perepu. That means what? If I type Accenture here, and then if I select Accenture and drag down, I will get all my names. You can see all other companies. For example, you must be working with the data and sometimes you wanted to have your data to be coming up automatically. Imagine a situation, you went to a meeting where you have been asked to give the complete list of accounts, including those customers gone. Since the inception, they want all complete customer names. When you are creating any report on a daily basis or a weekly or monthly or any periodic basis, you will not consider those customers are not active. You will consider only those customers which are active because that is relevant for you. But in this meeting, they asked, can you please give me that old customers? I'll bet on it. Many companies and in many organizations, this is one of the pain points. People will run around and take a lot of time to finally get the information. By the time the meeting is over, people will not focus. So purpose will not be served. How to actually get rid of this? How to make sure that you have all the names in your screen? For example, I have 3 customers now. I'll go to my, I will just say, I just go to File, and then I'll go to Options. Then I'll go to Advanced. Then I scroll down and I'll find General section. There I'll say Edit Custom List. And then I want to add some customer names. A new customer list I want to write. So the customer name is GE Healthcare in the entries. Then some software. Then Mahindra Tech. So these are the 3 companies I want to have in my company. This is in the year 1. I just click on add. You can see now those 3 things are added. And then press OK. And press OK. Now, if you write GE Healthcare, and then just drag down, you will get all the names. Now, what is the benefit of here is, suppose that some reason your some software company gone. They didn't, they stopped working with you. But nobody will eliminate the customer names. There could be a possibility that you will get him back. Then what to do? So then what? That is the reason we should not remove them from the list. The main list will be there, but unfortunately, whatever current report you are creating, there you are eliminating some software and you are using only healthcare and Mahindra. Then what happens? You will have a problem. You will not have the current list, and you will run back to the old reports and try to fix. When this some software start working with you, you don't know. So then you're lost. But better you keep in your, as a manager or as a person who is dealing with this data, keep these names in your Excel itself. You're not keeping any file, Excel. So what happens if anybody asks, okay, don't worry, I'll give you the list. You are a saver. I'm a savior. You'll be like a great person there, because you know everything with you and you're just dragging it. Do you want this? Yes, I want this. Fantastic. Job done. So that is the option. Do you have shortcut option to drop instead of using mouse? I didn't understand where we dropped. So that is not there. I think you're dragging. I think it's not drop, it's dragging, right? Yeah. See, one important thing you need to notice here, Excel cannot manage text. Excel is a solution working with the numbers. So unfortunately for text, you can't have a shortcut. You need to drag. There is no other option. Only for text. Other things you can take care. You need to change the format. To get the vehicle, you need to use the format, the font called Webdings. You can add 1 lakh customers. Nothing will happen. Little memory will be cached, but you can add 1 lakh customers also, right? And we have used, because I have used a font. For example, simple. You can try this way as well. I mean, this is another practice for you. For example, I'll write A, B, C, D, E, F like that, and select all of them and change the font to Webdings. Now you see, that is what is happening. right? It's simple trick of this thing. So F is basically your this thing. So I'll just drag down since now I can see all the my alphabets are coming automatically. So everything is coming up. So Y Z, yeah. So you can see vehicle. Yeah, this is vehicle V. This is vehicle, and this is fire engine. So I've just used the font, nothing else. Simple font. Yeah, so that way you can use it. Now let us go back to our exercise. Now I have got all the alphabets. Now since you can add all the alphabets easily, now let us understand those things. So now control A. What is control A? Control A is selecting a continuous range. Selecting a continuous range. For example, I want to select only this area. I need to keep the cursor on that area and press Control A. Only that area will be selected. Unfortunately, people know this shortcut as selecting all. Selecting all is not that. This is selecting all. But this is not selecting all, right? This is selecting continuous range. If you do against Control A, you will be selecting everything. So Control A is selecting a continuous range. Control B is bold and unbold. That means I can keep the cursor, press Control B, Control B, Control B, Control B, Control B, Control B. This is the practice way. This is the way of doing practice. Yes, you can start from the middle also. Of course, you can start from middle also. Not necessary that you will start from the beginning. Now, Control C is copy. I mean, we all know about it, right? This is we are doing since our childhood. Control D is copying that above cell. If I press Control D, the copy will come. For example, if I keep my name here and in the below cell, if I press Control D, Vijay will be copied. But suppose I want to copy this Vijay many times. Then I select my range with my shift and down arrow key. I'm not using mouse. Shift and down arrow key will take you to the selection and press Control D. What happens? That Vijay is repeating many times. Sometimes you have a formula and if you want to populate that formula across the cells, Control D is the best option. Don't copy paste. That will help you a lot. Numbers need not be into custom list. Numbers are intelligent. Power Excel works with numbers intelligently. No need of custom list. So don't worry. Because custom list we already created, right? 5, 10, 15, 20. That is custom list. That is a shortcut for it. You don't require a custom list for numbers. Excel understand numbers well, better than us. So we need not have a custom list for that. Yeah. So now you can see Vijay is coming because I did the Control D. So what is Control D? Duplicating down. And now I'm talking very, very powerful shortcut. This is available only from 2013 version of Excel. Below that, you don't have, and it is very powerful. So this is basically a kind of machine learning in Excel. So this will, we are going to small case study, I'll show you. It will give you a kind of nice experience. For example, I have some numbers like, I'll write 1, 2, 3, 4. Right side or left side? Immediate right side or immediate left side? I give a sample. Now I'm asking Excel, can you please do one thing? Give me Q2, Q3, Q4. Yes, I will give you. I need to keep the cursor on that Q1, that example, and press Control E. You can see it is now generating Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. By mistake, I have written Q1. I want QTR1. No problem. QTR1, rest are changing. No, I forgot. It is Q1. Yes, it will change. Till this icon is lying there, it will automatically do it. You need not do any hard work. Yeah, so we have only 30 minutes. Okay, I'll shift into now the pivot tables. Okay, so that way you can use the shortcut. So Control E. And one more important thing I'll tell you, that is Control L or Control T. We will do that and then we'll jump into how to create a nice pivot table and make your presentation much better. For that, I have a sample data. So let me select a sample data. This is the sample data. I'll copy this data into a separate location. Here. and then now you see the data. My suggestion, never work with normal data. Never work with normal data. Work with tables. Why tables? I'll tell you now. This is a normal data. And this data has some errors. What I'll do is I'll remove the errors so that that errors will not disturb us. I'll say there's some number there. And then this, I'll say amount for the time being. And now, if it is a table, when I create a pivot table, what happens? First, I'll tell you. If it is not a table, what happens? First, I'll tell you. If it is a table, what happens? I'll tell you later. For example, if it is a table, so it is not a table. Currently, it is not a table. It's a normal data. What happens is when I go to insert and insert a pivot table, you see the cell reference is coming A12, A516. And I say, okay, I want to create a new pivot table inside another worksheet, and okay. Now, what happens is when I select a customer, or rather I select city. Currently, you have some cities like Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, Kanpur, Kolkata, and all. Now, I add another city here. I'll add another city. So, I'll add that entire data, but I'll change the city name. Like, say, Udaipur. Udaipur is not part of your data. When I come back here, I cannot bring it automatically. There is a hard work you have to do, I think you must be doing it if you are using pivot table. You need to go to the pivot table options, then change the data source, come here, and then change the source to last cell and enter. Then Udaipur comes. So I don't want that. So I'm now removing Udaipur. Now I'll do this activity in a different way. Now I'm converting into a table. That is Control L. You need to convert into a table, Control L. Or Control T, T for Tata, L for learning. Control L or Control T if you use. You can see a dialog coming in like create table. And you need to always keep in mind that my table has headers selected and press OK. Now this is becoming a nice colored table, and it is a dynamic table, and this table has a name called table 1. So now I'll give this table name as student data. I'll give a name as student data. Now what is the interesting thing is, this will happen only when you are using Office 365. Otherwise it will not happen. But when I go here, any other cell, I'm going to other sheet in the same workbook, and I'm writing student data, and I want all the data. That means all headers, everything. See, that entire data is getting populated, except you need to change the data type to a date. That will not come because that is a small problem, but otherwise your entire data is populated in 1 second. So everything as it is, all 518 rows are coming. So that is the benefit of a table. Not only that, what is the benefit of table is actually you can create slices. For example, I wanted to just filter customer or something. I can do one thing. If you are using Office 365 only, it will help you, but this option is there in 2016 also, I believe. Now you need to go to the table design and you need to add a slicer. And then I want a customer slicer, I want department slicer, city slicer, application slicer, and press OK. Now I can play around with the data without touching the data. I want to see Excel. Under that, I want to see Bangalore. Under that, I want to see finance. Under that, I want to see customer web. Just zip zap kind of activity, right? You are not doing anything. Your data is very easily available. See, this is a nice presentation tool. You are doing it in a very smart way. But only thing is you need to have Office 365. Maybe in 2016 you need to try. I'm not very sure. When you copy paste to the notepad data to Excel, most of the time the data will be automatically allocated. You need to paste as unformatted text. So it will be taken its own shape automatically, because even the text file also will have a structure of column. You need not worry about it. So this is the options you can see. You can do that. The same experience now using the pivot table. So that is the benefit of a table. I told you, right? What is the benefit of table? This is one benefit. I'm just removing these guys. I don't want them because we are now creating a pivot table. So now let me create a pivot table. What is the name of the table now? Student data. So I'll create a pivot table, insert. Instead of that, I'll press Alt N V. Alt N and V. Now see, Alt N V is making me to select the data from table range or external data source or something else. So I'll select T because I have a table. What is the table name? Student data. Automatically Excel is recognizing what is the data it is and press enter. Your table is done. The important point here is this. Now I will add Udaipur here. And then I'll go back to my sheet 7. I don't do anything. See, I'll add city. Of course, Udaipur is not coming because it is not updated. Only one thing I do. I don't do anything. I'll just right click and refresh. Udaipur is there. I'll go back. I'll add another city. USA, simply for the purpose of understanding, I'll add. And then right click and refresh. You add any number of rows in the town, your job is done, your data is getting up. That's what is the benefit. But anyway, for the sake of the clean data, I want to remove these two guys because otherwise my pivot table will not be nice. Now we are doing the dashboard. So I'll do one thing, I'll hide all these guys. Even I'll hide this also. I keep only these. Now I name it as data. We are creating a nice dashboard now. And within, I think we have another, 30 minutes we have. Within 30 minutes, within 15 minutes, we'll finish the dashboard. I want to create a dashboard like this. I want revenue per duration, revenue, that is amounts per revenue per top 5 customers. And that should change for each and city, each and application, each and everything automatically. That should change automatically. And if I add another 100 rows, 10,000 rows, 1 million rows, of course, in Excel, you can't use more than that, but it should change automatically. So revenue for top 5 customers. One, then revenue trend by month. Even that need to be changed by year. If I click on year, at those respective months, it should show. And then I want revenue by city and contribution. Very quickly can be done by us in this. And then what do you call amount by let us do these 3 things first and then we'll introduce everything. So now I'm just doing all these 3 things very quickly. I need 3 pivot tables so that I can 3 pivot charts also very quickly. We are not covering formulas, so that is a problem. 50 lakh rows, Excel will not open because 50 lakh rows means it's more than 1 million rows. 10 lakh rows only Excel opens. In that case, you need to use a different scenario, but in this example, I will not be able to cover. You need to create Power Pivot. In the Power Pivot, you can use it, but not in this case. But I can explain that scenario, but time is less. Otherwise, I would have done that. But you can do 50 lakhs rows in a different way in Excel only. But there is another approach. So now I have added 3. Revenue by revenue for top 5 customers, revenue by month, and revenue by city and contribution. And all these things I want to create a nice report. And it should change automatically. So I'm just now adding a new sheet called pivot tables. And then adding another sheet called dashboard. So data, pivot tables, dashboard. So in pivot table, I'm not worried about data because I know what is the name of the table, right? If I select table design, my table name is student data. So I will create my pivot table 3. 1, top 5 customers. So I'll say Alt N V and enter. And name of the table, say student data. I need to know the name of the table only. And press OK. Pivot table is ready. And I name this pivot table as top 5 customers. Then first I'll add customer, then I'll add amount, and then I'll just right click on the name of the customer, and then I'll filter by top 10 and I select 5. You can use bottom also, right? Let me know if top 10 is better. Just let me select top 10, and now you can see top 10. I'll sort this by largest to smallest so that you all can see who is the top customer and who is the small customer. So I have top 5 customers data ready. So creating a pivot table is not that hard work. So I need to create another pivot table now. That pivot table name is, what was that I did? Trend of the month. We don't have any month name here, but there is one concept called time intelligence in Excel. That time intelligence makes your life very easy. So Alt NV and table name is student data, and then I want date of joining, and then I want amount. Now here you see either you get dates or you get years. So right click on that and then group, and you select only, you need to right click group and select only month. So you can see January to December, all the data is coming. The final one is revenue by city and contribution. So I'll say again Alt NV, and then from table or range. The table name is again student data, and I need to change the table here also. I think this is the revenue trend. Otherwise it will be a problem. You need to have a name. So this is city revenue. And then I will just say city, once amount, twice amount, because I want to contribution also, right? So I'll just go to this second item, right click, and then show value as percentage of grand total, and then I'll name it as percentage of grand total. Now you can see there is 100%. Only thing is, when you are dealing with numbers, make sure that the number format is good. Otherwise, what happens? You will not have a nice presentation. So that is the reason you need to have numbers. Now this I think percentage is good. So now you can see these three things. See how fast you can create a pivot table and respective things, right? So now the next thing is I want to create my charts. Simple. I need to create the chart. See, I wanted to create a column chart which is showing each customer's like a column chart, the vertical bar chart. I'll select it and I'll press Alt 10 and then C1 enter so that my chart is ready. Alt 10 C1 shortcut. Then I can create like this. I want to move this guy to dashboard. So I'll press Shift and F10. Shift F10 will give you the right side menu, where from you can select move chart, enter. Where you need to move it? Not pivot table, dashboard. I'm not using mouse, and press enter. This is now inside the dashboard. So I don't want certain elements. This cleaning up and all, you must have an idea how to do it, but we will see when any other section happens, then how to do it. So I'll say, I'll just name it as top 10 customers. I'll keep it like this, and I just change the design to this so that the data is nicely coming up. Now I'll go back to my pivot table, and now this one I want to create the revenue trend, right? I want to use a line chart. So Alt 10 and 1, enter the line chart, and again Shift and F10. Shift F10 will take you to the menu where I'll say move chart. And I want to go to the dashboard and press enter. Now I can see this information here. And this also I want to make sure that I have created a design, nice design like this. And now I don't want this total for some reason, and I say revenue trend. Let me keep it a little larger. Lastly, this one. I want to use a combination chart because you have to accommodate two numbers. One is a number, another is a percentage. You can't create a normal chart. So I'll use again Alt NK. Alt NK will take me to the mini charts. Otherwise, I need to add that multiple charts option, right? More commands and then all commands. There I can see that one option, mini charts. So this is not, maybe this one. I think this is add a chart. No, not that. So you need to select, I think we have seen some time back. Change chart type. I forgot that cell. I mean, I very rarely use those options. Sometimes because I always create, yeah. So now you can see create a custom combo chart. Add it and okay. Now what I'll do, I want to create a custom combo chart. I'll press Alt and then 3. And then my chart is there. Only thing is I need to change the secondary axis because I cannot accommodate both the numbers in one place and press OK. So this legend, I wanted to bring this to the top. So I'll just go to the options design and say legend, and I'll bring it to the top so that you have enough space. I'll just shift F10 and then that is V, move chart. Then drop down, select dashboard and press OK. Now you are inside the dashboard. So you have added this as well. And this also I can select a nice design. And I'll want this to be a normal chart. So I'll go there and I'll say I don't want these all filters and all. That way we have created the chart. What is the benefit is now? See, now you'll understand the benefit also. So let me make it a little larger. I want to make all the names are sitting. Now I have, see, we have done the entire report by 43. I started at 33 and we finished in 43. That means we are very quickly doing it. I mean, definitely you need to practice to come to this level, and it is not a small, it's not a tough thing. It's very easy thing to be done. Only thing is you need to make sure that you are spending good time on it to practice. Now I am adding the slicers. The slicers will play the important role. I'll go to any one chart and select chart and insert a slicer. There I want I want department slicer, city slicer, amount slicer, and sales representative slicer. And then okay. Let me select all of them. And also I wanted to add another slicer, which is called timeline. Because I have the data, I think from 17 to 18 also, I think, right? 17, 18, 19. So I need to add the data. So I'll do one thing. I select any one chart and say pivot table analyze and insert the timeline and say date of joining, because timeline will be based on the column containing date only. So I have a one date column and I select ES. And I'll bring it here and I'll say Control C, Control V, copy paste, and I select quarters. Now the interesting part starts. Now these slicers are not connected. We need to connect them together. So I'll right click. We have an option report connections. There I select it is connected with all the tables. Same thing I do for others. I'm telling you, your job is done for 1 year. Suppose you are creating this kind of report on a year. My suggestion, create this report in the beginning of the year and then use the same report for entire year. You need not do anything. That is the beauty of this pivot table. Now I'm adding the data later and I'll show you how this will happen. So let me select these things and let me select. It's already been done. Yeah. Now the interesting part starts. Now I wanted to see Excel. This is the Excel scenario. In Excel, this is what is happening. In Excel, I have only business in only Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad. So in Bangalore, how it is happening? This is the Bangalore status. So how I'm doing with finance? I mean, I have some errors in the data. That is why it is coming. But anyway, I'll select 2017. Select Q2. I mean, in Q2 2017, there is no business for Raman. where for finance and Bangalore and Excel. Simple. So it is actually making your life very easy, and you can come back. Just click on these slices, and you will come back to the normal, and you'll see everything. Now let me add another table. So what is that? I have only 2019, right? Now I want to add 2020. So I'll go to the data now. I'm not doing anything, just adding one data point. So let me take all these dates of 2017, copy them and paste them down for a quick understanding. So let me copy all 2017 values, come down and paste it. And I want all these 2070s to be 2020. Control H, and then 2017 to be replaced with 2020. And press OK, replace all. Okay. Now go to the pivot tables, click any one pivot table, right click and refresh. That is all you need to do. Your job is done. Your 2020 is added. You're not doing anything. That means what? When you are now onwards, my job is to add the data, refresh the data. Add the data, refresh the data. I am not doing any other job. I mean, it is called as laziness, but laziness is always, sometimes it is very smartness, right? So it is basically optimizing your capabilities and credibility. So that way you can create a pivot table. So now let me see the questions and answers. The steps for report, just you, what is the shortcut you said? I mean, I didn't understand. Example 1, 2, 3 is 1, 2, 3. Please tell how to use change number to text. Change number to text is basically you need to add either general section or you need to add a single quote in front of the number. Otherwise, it will not become automatically. I think, can the dashboards be interactive in dynamic Excel? Yes, you have already seen that. It is really interactive. Formulas, we have that comparisons, but we are not discussing formulas today. I think I've answered all the questions. So,
yes, sir. So we'll take some live questions as well, sir. If you're
yes, please. Yeah, I'll put my video on.
Please. Thank you so much, sir. So we have few raised hands. I am going to move them to panel and see if Priya, if you can hear me, you can unmute yourself and ask a question. And in the meanwhile, I'm also launching a poll for you to give us a feedback on how the session was and your exactly what you felt during the session. So it'll help us curate more sessions like this and bring them to you.
Hi Vijay. I don't have specifically. You can hear my voice or not? I just checked.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. No questions. I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
So we'll take Shivram. If you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask. Shivram.
Yeah, no, I don't have any questions.
Okay, I see your hand raised. So, okay. So, people request everyone from the audience to raise your hands only if you have any questions. We have Velangani Kumar. You can unmute yourself.
Yeah, hi. Thank you so much for the presentation. It was useful in terms of the dashboard. But do we have any sessions conducted by you in personal or by any way we can reach you?
Yeah, you can do that. Let me share my screen and just give my details. You can note down.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, that is possible. So let me share the screen. Where is that option to share the screen? Something is missing.
You should see it below or on the top, sir.
Okay. Oh yeah, I got it. Sometimes I'm a little unfamiliar with Zoom sometimes. Yeah. So this is me. You can see this. And you can reach me here. And you can reach me in LinkedIn like this. And you can use me. This is my YouTube channel where I have created almost some 500 videos.
Okay.
In order that many subject matters are covered. And my account is down, so you can use any one of them, and you can reach out. Yeah,
Yeah,
and you
sure.
can
Thank you
call
so
me
much.
at these places. Yes.
You also, okay, fine. Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome.
Thank you
So,
very
any
much.
specific doubts, guys? I mean, definitely. That is.
Yes, you can also put them in the chat box. I am trying to bring people to the panel.
Yeah. So, one thing, I don't know whether I will be able to answer the questions because chat is not accessible. It's Q&A. Sorry, I think chat is different. Okay.
Yeah.
Chat is this.
And yeah, so I can read out the questions to you, sir, if it's on the chat. And the
Yeah.
other thing that I want to mention is you will all be getting a link to the recording of the session. There's no need to worry. You can revisit all that has been taught today by Mr. Vijay, and you can practice this whenever you have time to do so. You will get a recording to the session today by Monday.
Yeah, I think I have, whether I sent everybody.
Yeah.
I sent only you. I'm not very sure.
I can copy paste that and reshare it. So
That's great. Yeah. Okay. So yes.
Anupam, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Vijay, it was a great session, first of all. And am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. So I was fascinated to see some dashboards and things which I knew before, but I just want to understand, like, at the last point, like you said, while we try to drill down to certain level of data, and we see context level data, in order to flush back, like, remove all the filters and get back to the wholesome data, we need to manually go to the each filter, and we need to do that. Instead of that, do we have bookmarking concept in Excel like we do have in Power BI?
No, we don't have that. So when I tried that, you need to pay it. See,
Yeah,
Power BI is a combination of Excel and VBA. That is the reason.
Yes. I was just understanding, since I had a chance to work in Power BI as well, but just wanted to understand if we do have such capability in Excel as well.
You can create that with macro. So there is an option.
Yeah, with macros. Yes. Without macros. Yeah.
Without macros, it is not possible. The interface is not so fascinating in Excel, but Excel is that very the nice subject matter, and it's the super subject matter.
Yes.
Some certain elements are really not there. That is the reason it is not so
great.
The question is valid, but that is not available upfront.
Yeah. Thanks, Vijay. That clears up. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Anupam. I hope that answers your question. Emma Williams, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Actually, I would like to know the contact number so I can know much more about the expense.
Sure. So I've shared the information on the chat box. You can. Okay, I am going to share his mobile number as well.
Okay.
Get in touch with him directly.
Sure. Thank you.
Surya Sitaram, if you can hear me, you can.
Yes, I can. Okay. Vijay, it's a great session. Actually, I'm a big fan of Excel from a long time. Actually, I have a lot of experience in IT industry. So I've been developing a lot of macros for our internal uses. And recently, some of my colleague has created the dashboards just like 1 week back in using the Google. Right.
Google Analytics. Yeah.
So now it's becoming very difficult for me to convince these people, to any of our colleagues on use the Excel to create the dashboard and even for creating the UIs and all those things. So that is one of the concern anyway. But I don't know, how you address these kind of things in your career. Probably you might have.
Exactly. So the one thing is that the reliability and availability. There are two things.
Mm-hmm.
Reliability in Google, what happens is Google is actually a paid platform any day. Maybe today you are making it thinking that it is simple, but later it will ask you to pay the thing. And the second thing is availability. Excel is available every time. I mean, it's available offline, and Google is always available only when you are having internet, right?
Mm-hmm.
That
Correct.
is one. Second thing is, so far as the usability is concerned, Excel, you can reach faster, and Google Analytics you need to learn because Excel works with XML background, and Google Analytics or Google Sheets or whatever it deals with Python. They use Python,
Mm-hmm.
so always it is advanced. So far as the creation, for example, you want to translate that Google Analytics into a PowerPoint. Imagine it's a tough job, right? So you will not be able to do it. So far as the presentation is concerned, Excel is more easy to use than the Google Analytics, and security. The single thing is the security of the data.
Okay.
You don't have security in Google Analytics. I don't agree with the security with them because
Mm-hmm.
actually recently faced the federal government restrictions. So problem, right? But Excel is in your laptop. You can't until unless you don't share, nobody can access it. So the most important thing is security of the data. So yes, keep that in view. Excel is the better one. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Thanks for that answer. I think probably I can use some of these things whenever somebody asks this question. And I have one more question. And related to this topic, always like when you use the Google Analytics, we cannot change the data as we want, but Excel we can change it. So that's what one of the advantages that I see using Excel.
Yeah, the usability is very much.
Yeah.
We call it as agility. We call it as agile. That's why Excel is an agile,
Mhm.
not like Google Analytics. Yeah.
Okay. Vijay, last not but last really, but I'm using a lot of macros, and then I'm in fact creating a tool which is which I'm going to use it for entire Netcracker. That's what my goal is. But one thing I want to ask you: is there any way that I can hide or secure my code? Because the Excel VBA, it always comes with go with the code. Even if I share the Excel, the code will be shared. Even
No, no,
I
you can
tried with this protect the code, but it can be easily broken, right? Broke
no, not like that. If you create a VBA, what happens is you create a VBA code with protect password. Now it can't be broken. The reason is protecting password. So it was happening in the earlier versions, but at least from 2016 onwards, you can't break a macro or you can't break a sheet. Even
So I'm using 2013, but I could successfully break the code macro code protection.
16 onwards. 16
15
onwards.
onwards. Okay,
One
16 onwards. Okay.
16 onwards, it is they have controlled. They have increased that bit, 64 bit. So
Mhm.
earlier it was 32 bit. So 32 bit was you will be able to break. Now 64 bit login is there, so you can still nobody can crack it now.
But is there any way in 2013 to protect it as of now?
No, that is the challenge in Microsoft applications. You can't upgrade old versions.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, Vijay. Thanks for the answers.
Thank you, Surya.
Thank you.
Pratiksha, you can unmute yourself and ask your questions if you have any. Pratiksha or Mohammed Lai.
Yes. Hi, Vijay. First of all, thank you for the great session which we had. So I have a small scenario. Uh, Actually, I have a huge data set wherein the Excel, the rows are more than 50 lakhs. So if I cannot open the Excel entirely, so I need to break the Excel and divide it into 5 different Excel. Then actually, I have to play with the data to do a pivot table and all those stuff. So, is there any way that we can do it in one sheet?
Yeah, it can be done. It can be done. So you need to basically get into that Excel. For example,
Okay.
need to make sure that, let me do one thing. Let me just close this Excel. Now this file is Power BI dashboard. So let me close it.
Okay.
I'm opening a new Excel. There I can go to data and go to get data and go to launch Power Query Editor.
Okay.
Power Query Editor actually let me access the file from a different location. So I'll say new source and then I say file and Excel workbook. Then I'll select the Power BI dashboard in a different location.
Okay.
And I import it. And now I'm using a table called revenue and press OK.
Okay.
Then I say load to a connection. Now you see, I'm only creating a connection and adding a data model, press OK. Now, whether it is 100 rows, 1 million rows, 1 billion rows, I don't care. The reason, now I'm not using Excel interface. I'm using that whatever rows you are telling in a different location. Now you see those many rows are loaded here.
Yeah.
Now I can directly create a pivot table from that range. So I can select add the data model. I need to select the data model. So what I say for that, first of all, I need to go back. It's already added. 1 second. Just let me say insert, add to the data source.
Yeah.
And then choose the connection. The connection is query revenue, which is coming from outside the thing. And press OK, and your table is ready, right?
Okay.
Here now your billion rows or million rows, no need to worry because your data is sitting somewhere and you are accessing the data remotely, online. And then you can add customer and whatever you want to do, you can do.
Oh, great. Thanks, Vijay. Thanks for your
Thank you, Mohammed Laik. Neeraj Vankar, if you can hear me, you can unmute yourself and ask a question.
Yeah. Hey, Vijay. First of all, thanks for your great session. It was quite informative. I have a query related to dashboards. What do you prefer, Power BI, Tableau, or Excel?
Initially Excel, no doubt about it. Then Power BI, reason is compare Power BI and Tableau. Tableau is only visualization tool.
Okay.
BI is analytical tool. It is actually analyzes the data. So then obviously that will help. Initially Excel.
Just a minute. Shiva, can you mute yourself? There's a lot of background noise.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, Vijay, please continue.
So when you are, if you are very familiar with Excel logic, I'm talking about the data logic, then you can actually use any tool, not only Power BI, but then shifting to Power BI will add a lot of value. For example, take me, I used Excel for almost like some 20 years. From the very beginning, I started from Lotus. So now, because of that Excel capability, I'm using now Power BI very extensively. I'm a super user in Power BI. So Microsoft has given title to me, thanks to Excel. Yeah.
Okay. My query is more related to the data part. I'll tell you why. If there is some duplication of rows, suppose there is a frequent updation happening across the sheet. So which tool is much better in terms of updations?
Power BI.
Power BI. Okay.
It will clean the data very, very frequently based on your refresh cycle. You create a life cycle, right? That life cycle Power BI will follow.
Okay. Good enough. Thank you. Thanks, Vijay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Last question for the day. Priranjan, if you can hear me, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Priranjan.
Hello.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Yeah, so Shiva, thanks. But my question was clarified by the previous question. So, by the way, that was a really nice session, and Shiva, we need such sessions, frequently. That will definitely help everybody.
Absolutely, Priyanka. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I would like to take this opportunity again to thank Mr. Vijay. I know we've covered a very few topics today, but we are going to have a lot more sessions like this, covering a lot more topics going forward. We'll also look at Power BI and Tableau also, now that we have so many requests from that side. So that's it for today. Thank you all the audience for also for being patient and going and sitting through the entire session. You will all receive a link to the recording of the session shortly, mostly by Monday on your emails. And thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Bye, guys. Thank you very much.